And when your blue chip companies of 60 something, only three, or like as we speak today, I think it's only Precious who's leading. It's like there's only 1 or 2 slots for a woman at a time. On the ZSC. It's like an unspoken, I call it the boys club rule. So once we've got more, then the boys kind of get scared that the women are going to come and take over. We're not coming to take over. Trevor, there's enough space for all of us. So I was 1 of 2 or 3 at any point in time, which is sad, which is, I think, very sad.
What needs to be done in your view, Clara, to sensitize the society, to sensitize the boardrooms that this is an important thing, that gender diversity is key?
I think the boys' club has to stop talking and start acting.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that with all sincerity, Trevor, because the key decision makers in the businesses are men, right? There are very few women in those leadership roles where they make such decisions. So the key decision makers are men. And a lot of discussions have been had over the years about gender diversity. I mean, I think for the last 20 years that I've been in business, 25 years, the talk has always been about gender diversity. So if 20-something years later, we're still sitting with 1 woman on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange. I was even looking at the statistics, for example, for the banking industry. And for the banking industry, I think 52% of employees globally are females, right? 38% of that, I think, are in management positions. About 16% or so are in the leadership executive committees. This is at a global level. So the funnel starts narrowing as you get to the top. In the case of Zimbabwe, there are, I think, about 17 banks or so under the Bankers Association of Zimbabwe stable. And of those 17 financial institutions, only 1 has a female, which is Dr. Sibongile Moyo.
Yeah.
Just 1. And before that's Nedbank. And before Dr. Sibs, it was Dr. Charity Junior at Nedbank as well. And in the last, probably, say, 10 years or so, I think Dr. Charity Junior was probably the only female managing director of the financial institutions. So before even going to ZSC, then if you go into, for example, the manufacturing sector, manufacturing sector, if you look at the survey results, it moves between 9 to 13% of the CEOs being women. But I think it's probably sitting at about 9% right now. But it moves between 9 to 13%. But we're 40 years down the road in terms of independence. But we keep talking about the same things, and it's not about studies anymore, because there are enough studies that have been done.
We know what the situation is.
Sorry?
I said we know what the situation is. We know the numbers.
We know what the situation is. We know what needs to be done. We need to send the elevator down for these women and provide them the necessary support. So we know what needs to be done. And that's why I say that we need to stop talking and start acting, put our money where our mouth is. Because I find that generally it's nice, bar conversation, we need more women, we need more women, we need more women. But after that, that's where the conversation ends. There's no action. Because if there was action, we'd see the results.
Is there a responsibility on so you say the boys' club needs to do something. Is there anything that the girls' club ought to do to bang the tables, stand on the tables, do something to ensure that there's movement here?
So ultimately, the decision makers are still the men. You see, we can't run away from that. So when you look at the funnel, for example, when I was giving you one about the banking industry, where you've got 52% globally being women, 38% in management positions. What then happens between the 38% to the 16% who are in the executive committee roles? It means that the pull is not going up. And the question is, why is that pull not going up? Because they're not being provided with those opportunities to actually take over the roles. In most cases, and we've had the conversation where women are based on historical performance. The men are based on future performance. Networking is a big part of it. And I speak to a lot of women about the importance of networking, that it's important to perform, and you must perform, but you also need to network. But the challenge with the networking is, who are you networking with? You're networking with men. And when you're networking with men, there are now cultural, systematic challenges that sometimes come through because the networking happens in the evenings. And you find that a lot of the women, the husbands may not be comfortable with them going out to network with other men in the evenings. So it's then finding those platforms that women can network safely without then, having challenges at home within their marriages as to, why were you at this function with so and so? I was seen standing next to Trevor. It becomes a social issue that Clara Mlambo was standing next to Trevor. Meanwhile, I was just saying hi, Trevor, at a function, and I was moving on to the next conversation. So networking is key, but I think there's still work that needs to be done in terms of how do we bring this networking platform in such a way that it accommodates some of the sensitivities that women have when it comes to networking.